කොළඹ කාසල් වීදියේ කාන්තාරෝහලේ විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය සමන්ත් කුමාර මහතා ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිචන්ව වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයේ සභාපතිදුරයට පත්වීමේ උත්සවය ගාලු මෝදර ශ්‍රැංගිලා හෝටලයේදී උත්කර්ෂවත් අයුරින් පවත්වනු ලැබුවා.
It gives us great pleasure in graciously calling upon, ladies and gentlemen, Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero, the Chief Incumbent of the Thero Rajamaha Viharaya, Dr. Asala Gunawardana, Chief Guest, Director General of Health Services, Dr. Pushpa Puchiheva, Consultant Pediatrician, and the Guest of Honor,
සේරුවිල මංගල රජමහා විහාරයේ විහාරාධිපති පූජ්‍ය අලුතෙනියේ සුබෝධි ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේ, සෞඛ්‍ය සේවා අධ්‍යක්ෂ ජෙනරාල් විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය අසේල ගුණවර්ධන, ළමා රෝග විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය පුෂ්පා පුංචිහේවා, එක්සත් රාජධානියේ ඔක්ස්ෆර්ඩ් සිට විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය අමිත් ගුප්තා, ශ්‍රී දළදා මාලිකාවේ දියවඩන නිලමේ තැන්පත් ප්‍රදීප් දෑල බණ්ඩාර මැතිතුමා ඇතුළු විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍යවරුන් සහ සම්භාවනීය අමුත්තන් රැසක් මෙම උළෙලට සහභාගී වුණා.
Our special guest joining virtually, Dr. Amit Gupta. You are the most welcome to this ceremony, and I make use of this opportunity to extend my sincere gratitude for readily accepting our invitation to make this event successful. Respected Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero, you are the most welcome to this ceremony. Please accept my gratitude and warm wishes in advance for being present with us today. After welcoming all of you, I would like to look back into the past year. The new Council of the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka for the year 2021 was appointed at the annual general meeting held on 23rd December 2020.
පසුගිය වසරේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිචන්ව වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයේ සභාපතිදුරය හෙබූ විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය සනත් ලැනරෝල් මහතා විසින් මීළඟ වර්ෂය සඳහා එම සභාපතිදුරය විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය සමන්ත් කුමාර මහතා වෙත ගෞරවනීය අන්දමින් පිරිනමනු ලැබුවා.
And now I would like to graciously call upon Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero, the Chief Incumbent of the Thero Mangala Rajamaha Viharaya,
සභාව අමතමින් නාරාධිත දේශනයක් පැවැත්වූ සේරුවිල මංගල රජමහා විහාරාධිපති පූජ්‍ය අලුදෙනියේ සුබෝධි ස්වාමීන්ද්‍රයන් වහන්සේ අලුත උපදින නොමේරු දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිත ආරක්ෂා කරනු පිණිස සේරුවිල මංගල රජමහා විහාරයත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිචන්ව වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයත් එක්ව ක්‍රියාවට නංවන සේව්ව බේබී පුණ්‍ය ව්‍යාපෘතිය පිළිබඳව පැහැදිලි කරනු ලැබුවා.
First of all, I would like to wish all the best to Dr. Samanth Kumara, the newly inducted president of the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka. The Buddha said, Paradukke hadayang kampayatiti karuna. If you have the sensitivity of others' suffering, that's we call karuna, compassion, the kindness. I identified that Dr. Samanth Kumara, he has full of compassion, full of kindness. As I work with many professionals around the world in different sectors, I got to know that most of the professionals, they don't have their job satisfaction. In a recent survey done in the United States of America, we got to know the 72% of the professionals over there do not have the job satisfaction. In this fact, when I first met Dr. Samanth Kumara, I noticed he's different from all these professionals. He enjoys, he admires his profession as a doctor. He always greets his patients in a cheerful way. His heart was wrapped with kindness. His words were always to help others. Therefore, I believe the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka is very lucky to have a president like him in this year. Being honest, when I got his call, I think in a month ago, he said, "Oh, Swamin Wahanse, I am going to appoint as the president of the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka." So then, being honest, I didn't know the word perinatal. So then I thought, okay, he's going to be a president of a kind of a society, right? So then I wished him, I blessed him. And then after some time, I received a letter from him. So then I read that letter. It was with the letterhead of the Perinatal Society. So then he said, in the first paragraph of that letter, it's his first letter as the president of the Perinatal Society. So then I felt like honored. But when I read the second paragraph, I felt shocked actually, because he mentioned few statistics of the infant mortality rate of Sri Lanka, and also about the infant deaths of Sri Lanka, which was driven by him, I think, in the last year. And those data was shocking, because we all know that infant mortality rate is kind of the measure of a development of a country. Earlier I thought, and we were taught in the school also, that number was around 4 and 5 in Sri Lanka, and it is very closer to a developed country. But in this survey done by him, I think he may reveal all these data in his presidential speech. It's near 10. From his letter, he enlightened me actually. The main cause for this deaths is prematurity. Those who are born as extreme premature babies, like less than 28 weeks of the pregnancy, when just after they born, they have very high death rate. About 30% to 80% of those babies, those infants who born below 28 weeks of pregnancy, they normally die within few days after they born. The most significant reason for that is they do not have a proper breathing support after they born. When those premature babies born, they do not breathe properly. So they need a proper breathing support. But unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, in our country, we don't have such equipments to welcome our newborn babies, to give their first breath in a warm and welcoming way. Normally, when they need that kind of breathing support, we should give blended gas in a proper percentage of oxygen, and also it should be humidified, and also it should be properly pressurized, and also it should be warm. But unfortunately, currently we are practicing giving 100% oxygen from the oxygen cylinders directly to those newborn babies, those premature babies, which is that air extremely cold. Think for a moment. When those babies just born to this world, what's their first impression about this world? What's their first thought about this world? Their little lungs gets extremely cold by that air supply. Therefore, Dr. Saman Kumar proposed me to donate special breathing support equipment which produces blended air with proper percentage of oxygen, and also well pressurized, and also humidified, and also a warm supply of air to welcome those babies. I am really happy to inform you today, we designed a charity called Save a Baby, joining hands with the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka to offer 50 these kind of special equipments to main 50 hospitals around Sri Lanka, covering all the districts island-wide. By offering those equipments, we hope we could able to reduce the mortality rate of infants in the future. The tagline of this campaign is "Be their first breath," because we are donating their first breath. And we hope this Save a Baby campaign will get a huge success in next few months, and we are going to launch this charity project in Seruvila Mangala Raja Mahavihara. As a leading temple of Sri Lanka, we get that national responsibility to fulfill this national task to save our own children of our nation. And also I would like to mention, as the Seruvila Mangala Raja Mahavihara, we designed this charity project as a tribute to my late robbing tutors, Most Venerable Seruvila Saranakirti Nayaka Thero and Most Venerable Mungheni Mittarama Nayaka Thero, who gave me the blessed robes in this Buddha Sasana, and also as a tribute to my Dhamma teacher, Most Venerable Kiribadgoda Jnanananda Mahathera.
ඉන් අනතුරුව සෞඛ්‍ය සේවා අධ්‍යක්ෂ ජනරාල් විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය අසේල ගුණවර්ධන, ළමා රෝග විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය පුෂ්පා පුංචිහේවා සහ විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය අමිත් ගුප්තා මහත්මයා සභාව අමතනු ලැබුවා.
Most Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero, the Chief Incumbent of Seruvila Mangala Rajamaha Vihara and the Chief Advisor to Shraddha Upohaini. The guest of honor tonight, the Senior Pediatrician Dr. Pushpa Puncheva, and ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it's a great honor to me to address you all in this evening. The PSSL was founded in 2001 and now the society is about 2 decades old. The PSSL has so far done an enormous amount of work to uplift the maternal and newborn care of Sri Lanka. Actually, I met someone when I was working at the covering up director in the Castle Street in 2019, I think. And for the first time when I reported duty at Castle Street as a director. And someone is actually a very committed neonatologist and he is very good in organizing donations to improve his unit. When he assumed the duty, there wasn't even a blood gas machine, and there were very few old, outdated ventilators and few incubators. A decade passed now. The NICU at Castle Street Hospital at present is a state-of-art NICU with all modern technology. It is not an unknown fact how all these things were achieved. All the past directors at Castle Street Hospital for Men, including myself, are at present the Castle Street Hospital NICU has, I think, 15 modern ventilators and more than 25 latest incubators and all the latest machines equipment for treating the newborn. Most of these medical equipments were donations from local and international donors at the request of someone. At this point, I would like to thank all the donors, especially the Most Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero and his contribution for nearly 20 million to the NICU few years back. His most recent fundraising was to establish the PCR lab at Castle Street Hospital, which is serving the nation even today, saving many lives, and this was also coordinated by our Most Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi Thero. Even myself and someone went for this to meet our Venerable Thero, and he actually, even Venerable Thero was very generously offered this one, and he never reluctant to even a single minute say, okay, sir, you go ahead, we will give the machines which I will wanted for this PCR laboratory. I am aware that he has already planned a massive project which was elaborated by our Reverend Aludeniye Subodhi Thero to purchase 50 very special neonatal resuscitation machines. This approach for resuscitation is even more advanced than the system used in most of the high income countries. I am sure that we as in the Ministry of Health will give our fullest support to Dr. Samanth Kumar and his council to make his endeavors a reality during his tenure in his office as the President of PCSL. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
All the council members, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for inviting me to be the guest of honor for this prestigious ceremony. And I am humbled by your invitation, and I consider this a great privilege and honor to stand here this evening. It's no doubt a great day for you, Samanth. To me personally, it is also a happy day to see you who started your medical career in 1998 under me as a house pediatrician and continued as a senior house officer for further 2 years at Teaching Hospital Karapitiya. You stood out in my mind as one of the best who took your responsibility towards patient care seriously. In the absence of high-tech facilities those days, the diagnosis was often made on clinical grounds. I know that you were one who learned that art fast. Ladies and gentlemen, a patient's perception of a good doctor as an excellent professional is based on compassion towards parents and patients, how competent the doctor is, ability to communicate and ability to listen to patients and to explain, how confident the doctor is, how committed to the profession. And finally, yet importantly, he or she should be a committed leader in a team. Without any exaggeration, Samanth, you have all the qualities described above. Already the Venerable Aludeniye Subodhi mentioned about your compassion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka from its inception over the years has contributed to the national efforts towards improving health care for mothers and infants. During your tenure as the president, I am sure you together with your council will work with dedication and determination to further uplift the perinatal care in the country. I am sure with your excellent leadership, the Perinatal Society will go from strength to strength. I wish you all the very best in everything you do. Thank you very much, Samanth, and your council again for the kind invitation. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the college, and thank you very much, Samanth, for inviting me to this inauguration. A lot has been said about Samanth's dedication and his compassion, so I will not repeat it. All I'll say is that it has been a real pleasure and privilege to know him, both as a pediatrician and neonatologist, but also as a friend. What I would like to say is that there are many projects that he has got in his pipeline. We have been in discussions about starting the ANI project. He is looking at improving data collection, and I am looking forward to working with him, with my other friends in Sri Lanka. I don't know whether Shraddha is in the audience, but we all work together to ensure that we can do our bit. And I wish him all the very best for his presidentship. I also feel that with the association with the charity, a lot can be done in the coming year. So thank you for calling me my friend, and all the very best for the coming year.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිචන්න වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමේ අභිනව සභාපති වශයෙන් මීළඟ වසර සඳහා සිය මෙහෙවර ප්‍රකාශනය විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය සමන්ත් කුමාර මහතා විසින් ඉදිරිපත් කරනු ලැබුවා.
If you look at Sri Lanka, we are proud and we are really proud of our rates. We are almost in par with most of the developed countries. But there is some issue with this number. But there are significant errors in reporting deaths. Many extreme preterm deaths are not reported. Whether you like it or not, this is the reality. And even today, many major hospitals are not reporting deaths after less than 28 weeks of gestation. And I have to say, when I started my career as the first neonatologist at Castle Street Hospital 11 years ago, none of the deaths after 28 weeks of gestation was reported or noted to the Ministry of Health or the Registrar General Department. And these babies were not given death certificates, they were disposed. So survey on gestation-specific neonatal mortality in Sri Lanka, we have done through the Perinatal Society. And this is the first such study done ever in Sri Lanka with the blessings of the Ministry of Health. And I would like to thank Dr. Asela Gunawardana, Director General of Health Services, for giving me the permission and your blessing to carry out this study. And we collected data over a period of 1 year. And this included all levels of hospital. And mind you, this is not only from the tertiary care hospitals where you can obviously think the neonatal mortality rate is anyway high. in tertiary care hospitals because you get all the complicated cases. But we collected data even starting from base hospitals. And this sample represents more than 50% of actual national births during that period. So our national neonatal mortality rate is 8.9 per 1,000 live births. And I have to say, still this is an underestimated figure as the deaths were outside neonatal units are not included. And these are the deaths which took place only within the neonatal units. We know that there are deaths happening in the labor rooms and operation theatres, and babies born at 20 weeks of gestation, 21, 22 weeks of gestation, they are not admitted, and these deaths are not counted. And these are neonatal deaths by definition. And all the other countries, even the developed countries, they are having low rates of neonatal mortality rate of 2 or 3, even after counting deaths at 20 weeks of gestation. So that's the situation in other countries. So my point is, we are losing a lot of babies in the premature group where the death is preventable. So my target is to reduce mortality and morbidity due to prematurity because there are more preventable deaths. It's realistic and it's scientific. And we are planning a practical and evidence-based approach. And also we are planning a national program to cover all the provinces.
අවසානයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිචරණ වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයේ ලේකම් විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය දිලූෂා අතුකෝරළ මහත්මිය විසින් ස්තුති කතාව පැවැත්වීමෙන් අනතුරුව උත්සව සභාවේ කටයුතු අවසන් වුණා.
COVID made us realize on values that we can enact right now: fairness, kindness, accountability, resilience, respect, and courage. The pandemic unified us like we have not been in a long time. COVID also convinced us that life is short, enjoy while we can, do goodness to those who surround you, and that gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. So as the secretary of the Perinatal Society, I was bestowed with the task of paying gratitude to all who have supported to make this event a success. On behalf of the Perinatal Society, I extend a very big thank to all of you who are present here today amidst difficult times. Hope you all would enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
මම හිතන්නේ අද අපිට ඉතාමත්ම විශේෂ දවසක් Perinatal Society of Sri Lanka කියන ආයතනයේ 21 වෙනි සභාපතිවරයා තෝරාපත් කරන දවස. අද 21 වෙනි සභාපතිවරයා විදිහට මම මගේ වැඩ කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරපු දවස. ඒ උත්සවයට තමයි අපි මේ හැමදෙනාම සහභාගී වුණේ. මෙතෙන්දී අපි වැදගත්ම දේ තමයි අපි Perinatal Society එහෙම නැත්නම් පරිජන්ම වෛද්‍ය විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයේ විදිහට අපි දැකපු දෙයක් තමයි අපේ රටේ ලදරු මරණ අනුපාතය මීට වඩා හොඳ තැනකට අපිට ගේන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද දරුවන් 1000ක් උපදිනකොට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපේ රටේ දරුවන් අපිට දැනට තියෙන දත්ත අනුව 8ක් 9ක් අතර ප්‍රමාණයක් අපිට අහිමි වෙනවා. මේ ප්‍රමාණය අපිට දරුවන් 1000ක් උපදිනකොට දරුවන් දෙන්නෙක් පමණක් වගේ අහිමි වෙන ප්‍රමාණයකට ගන්න එක තමයි අපේ ප්‍රයත්නය. ඒක තමයි සාමාන්‍ය ලෝකේ දියුණු රටක තියෙන තත්ත්වය. දැන් මේ අහිමි වෙන දරුවන්ගෙනුත් වැඩිම ප්‍රමාණයක් අහිමි වෙන්නේ නොමේරුව දරුවන් කියලා අපිට පැහැදිලි වෙලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මගේ මේ අවුරුද්ද තුල මගේ ප්‍රයත්නය තමයි නොමේරුව දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිත බේරා ගැනීමට මේකට අවශ්‍ය විශේෂිතම වූ අවශ්‍යතාවයක් වන නොමේරුව දරුවන්ගේ උපතේදී කෘත්‍රිම ශ්වසනය දෙන උපකරණ විශේෂ ක්‍රමයකට නියම සුදුසු ක්‍රමයට කෘත්‍රිම ශ්වසනය ලබා දෙන උපකරණ අපේ රටේ හරියට නැහැ. ඒ හන්ද එම උපකරණ 50ක් අපේ අලුදෙනියේ සුබෝධි හාමුදුරන් වහන්සේ එක්ක එකතු වෙලා ලොකු පුණ්‍ය ව්‍යාපාරයක් ආරම්භ කළා. අපි මේ මැෂින් 50ක් ලංකාවේ වැදගත් රෝහල් 50කට බෙදා දීලා දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිත විශේෂයෙන්ම නොමේරුව දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිත විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් බේරා ගැනීමට තමයි අපේ මේ අවුරුද්ද තුල තියෙන ප්‍රධානම ඉලක්කය. මම හිතන්නේ අපිට හැමෝම එකතු වෙලා මේ අහන දකින සියලුම දෙනාට මේකට උදව් කරලා එකතු වෙලා අපිට මේ ප්‍රයත්නය සාර්ථක කරගෙන තවත් ගොඩක් දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිත බේර ගන්න හැකි වේවි කියලා මම විශ්වාස කරනවා.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා පරිජන්ම වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ සංගමයේ අභිනව සභාපති ධුරයට පත් විශේෂඥ වෛද්‍ය සමන් කුමාර මහතාට තුනුරුවනේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් අපේක්ෂිත කාර්යයන් සාධනය කරමින් එම ධුරය හොබවන්නට වාසනාව ලැබේවා. තෙරුවන් සරණයි. නමෝ බුද්ධාය.